Residential sales comparison and income approaches. Help. Documents. Email instructor. CH8 physical characteristics adjustments. PG19 quality categories URAR continued. Notes print. Leave a comment. Quality categories URAR continued. Q4 dwellings with this quality rating meet or exceed the requirements of applicable building codes. Standard or modified standard building plans are utilized, and the design includes adequate fenestration and some exterior ornamentation and interior refinements. Materials, workmanship, finish, and equipment are of stock or builder grade and may feature some upgrades. Q5 dwellings with this quality rating feature economy of construction and basic functionality as main considerations. Such dwellings feature a plain design using readily available or basic floor plans featuring minimal fenestration and basic finishes with minimal exterior ornamentation and limited interior detail. These dwellings meet minimum building codes and are constructed with inexpensive, stock materials with limited refinements and upgrades. Q6 dwellings with this quality rating are of basic quality and lower cost. Some may not be suitable for year-round occupancy. Such dwellings are often built with simple plans or without plans, often utilizing the lowest quality building materials. Such dwellings are often built or expanded by persons who are professionally unskilled or possess only minimal construction skills. Electrical, plumbing, and other mechanical systems and equipment may be minimal or non-existent. Older dwellings may feature one or more substandard or non-conforming additions to the original structure. Reporting format. Quality of construction. Appraiser must select one value from the specified list. End of page. Chapter start. 48%.
Residential sales comparison and income approaches, Chapter 8, physical characteristics adjustments, page 20. Check your understanding. This quiz has a total of 3 questions. There will be 1 question per page. You must achieve 66% to pass this quiz. Start quiz. Number 1. An appraiser can reasonably assume that A. Most homes in a subdivision are of the same general quality. B. No homes in a subdivision are of the same general quality. C. Quality has nothing to do with subdivision location. Or D. All subdivisions in a geographic area are of the same general quality. I'm going to go A. Most homes in a subdivision are of the same general quality. Number 2. When describing the area of a small lot, we usually use A. Acres, B. Square feet, C. Rods, or D. Cubic feet. I'm going to go B. Square feet. And number 3, quality is determined by A. What the builder says, B. The season during which improvements were constructed, C. The materials and construction practices used during the building process, or D. The marketing program of the contractor. I'm going to go C. The materials and construction practices used during the building process. Assessment completed. Finish. You passed. You got 100%. So, remember, an appraiser can reasonably assume that you said most homes in a subdivision are of the same general quality, and that is correct. Number 2, when describing the area of a small lot, we usually use, you said, square feet. That is correct. Number 3, quality is determined by, you said, the materials and construction practices used during the building process. Continue.
Residential sales comparison and income approaches. Help. Documents. Email instructor. CH8 physical characteristics adjustments. PG21 age. Notes. Leave a comment. Age. Appraisers normally look for houses of approximately the same age for use in the sales comparison approach. Small differences in chronological age do not usually affect value significantly. For example, the market may not differentiate between a house that is 35 years old and a house that is 40 years old. In most cases, differences in condition and updating have the greater impact. Newer homes versus homes with a few years of wear and tear on them tend to see significant conditional differences primarily due to the fact that none of the components have been updated or renewed. As homes age, there tends to be an even greater chance of significant conditional differences due to wide variation in the amount of updating and refurbishment. Age adjustments are used to calculate differences in long-lived and curable deterioration between properties. This can be done using different criteria. Let's look at some definitions on the next pages. End of page. Chapter start. 48%. 48%. Residential sales comparison and income approaches. Help. Documents. Email instructor. CH8 physical characteristics adjustments. PG22 chronological age. Notes. Leave a comment. Chronological age. Actual age is defined as the number of years that have elapsed since construction of an improvement was completed, also called historical or chronological age. The actual age gives an overall means of comparison for age, although not condition. For example, the major structural components of a house built in 2002 can be expected to be similar in age, and thus similar in the amount of physical deterioration, to most homes in that market area built in 2002. Sometimes it is difficult to ascertain the exact age in older houses. You may or may not be able to find the actual year of construction in public records. If you are unable to find the exact age of a house built in the 1700s, 1800s, or early 1900s, a clue may come from its architectural style. For example, Greek Revival homes were popular across the country from about 1830 to 1860. The various Victorian styles appeared between 1860 and 1900. This could be helpful, and at least get you into the correct era. If you cannot pin down the exact date of construction on an older house, you can attempt to get information concerning the age of other similar homes in the neighborhood, as perhaps they were all built around the same time. If you are unable to ascertain the exact actual or historical age, then you should make your best estimate and indicate on the report that it is an estimated age. Perhaps you could imply plus or minus signs. Say that the house is 120 plus, or state that it is 120 EST estimated. Under the UAD, you indicate an unknown age with a tilde, example, 120. End of page. Chapter start. 48%.
Effective age is defined as the age of property that is based on the the amount of observed deterioration and obsolescence it has sustained, which may be different from its chronological age. Appraisers use the concept of effective age to describe total physical deterioration, meaning the relative age indicated by a structure's condition and amount of updating and refurbishment. Effective age recognizes that maintenance and modernization add substantially to the life of a building or structure. For instance, two 30-year-old homes might stand side by side in a subdivision. They started out as identical, but one has been substantially remodeled and renovated with new vinyl windows, updated kitchen, flooring, and bath fixtures. Its neighbor has been a rental and has had little maintenance and no updating. The remodeled home might have an effective age more similar to a newer home than to its neighbor. The effective age is the age that it appears to be. You might say, I know this house is actually 30 years old, but it's just as good as, just as modern as, and functions as well as a house of only 20 years. Therefore, you would judge it to have an effective age of 20. The estimate of effective age is a judgment call on the part of the appraiser. This is an area where an appraiser relies on professional judgment, since it is difficult to estimate with great accuracy what the effective ages of the comparables are as compared to the subject. As with all other adjustments, the appraiser gathers data on the subject and comparables in order to identify differences. Once a difference is known, then an adjustment should be made. The adjustment can be made by direct comparison within the grid, if possible.
Residential sales comparison and income approaches. Help. Documents. Email instructor. CH8 physical characteristics adjustments. PG24 effective age versus actual age. Notes. Leave a comment. Effective age versus actual age. The URAR form specifically asks for the actual age to be entered into the sales grid. In some cases that is adequate, and we can make an adjustment based on differences in actual age, particularly with relatively new properties, and ones that are similar in age. Effective age may be entered as well, but not on the same line as the actual age. We certainly should know the effective age of the subject property after making our appraisal inspection, but we may or may not have a clear idea as to the effective age of the comparable sales. That will have to be based upon the best information that we can obtain. The UAD calls for actual age to be entered. Actual age. The appraiser must report the actual age of the subject property and each comparable property. For new construction that is less than 1 year old, enter the numeral 00. Do not enter any additional information, such as years or other descriptors. If the actual age is unknown, enter the estimated age. Reporting format. Actual age, numeric to 3 digits, whole numbers only. Estimation of actual age, A tilde, must precede the actual age. Examples. 18. 150. As an example, comparing dwellings with actual ages of 80 years and 150 years can be done, although at first blush, an age difference of 70 years could cause one to conclude these properties are not comparable. Estimates of their respective effective ages should narrow the range considerably. End of page. Chapter start. 48%. Residential sales comparison and income approaches. Help. Documents. Email instructor. CH8 physical characteristics adjustments. PG25 effective age Fannie Mae. Notes. Leave a comment. Effective age Fannie Mae. In the selling guide, Fannie Mae states this about actual age and effective age. The relationship between specification of its condition. A property that has been well maintained generally will have an effective age somewhat lower than its actual age. On the other hand, a property that has an effective age higher than its actual age probably has not been well maintained, or may have a particular physical problem. In such cases, the lender should pay particular attention to the condition of the subject property in its review of any appraisal report. If an adjustment for effective age is made in a UAD-compliant appraisal report, the adjustment must be made in one of the blank adjustment spaces near the bottom of the grid. An adjustment for effective age may not be made in the space indicated for actual age. End of page. Chapter start. 48%. Residential sales comparison and income approaches. Help. Documents. Email instructor. CH8 physical characteristics adjustments. PG26 useful life. Notes. Leave a comment. Useful life. Useful life of a building is defined as the period of time over which a structure or a component of a property may reasonably be expected to perform the function for which it was designed. The useful life may vary quite a bit between different buildings based on how they were engineered, the quality and specifications of the materials used, and the type of long-lived systems they have. For example, in most cases copper piping is longer-lived than galvanized steel. Thick-walled, higher-quality copper piping will last longer than thin-walled, lower-quality copper piping. The concept of useful life is used when estimating depreciation of short-lived items using the breakdown method, but otherwise it has little applicability for real property appraisers. End of page. Chapter start.